theories on how that works that have been moderately successful. And the theory is that you put the tweeters in the front of the chorus, you put the woofers in the back of the chorus, and you put the mid-rangers in the middle. And I demonstrated that. Was Kerry Foley in this class yesterday? No, it was in the class. He and I got up and we sang in unison, and I demonstrated that, right? He's a tweeter, I'm a woofer. If you put him behind me, I'm going to feel like I'm standing in front of a chainsaw, because he has all that pain, right? And so if you put us beside each other, we're a little more comfortable, but if you put him a little bit in front of me, I feel like the ring is in front and he feels like he's supported from behind. So that's one way to do it, and there's left and right to that too. I discern pitch better in my left ear. I always have, for whatever reason. This I know. So I want the lead over here, right? Or I want some, so if there's a bright singer on this side, I may want him here. If someone has more woofers than I do, I want him here, right? So there's a left and right component to that, and there's a fore and aft component to that on the risers. I do the same thing with quartets, right? You can change a quartet sound by doing this with one person, because people are a little more comfortable. Actually, we might try that. It's not really in the purview of this class, but it might help, right? So that's one school of doing it, just placing everybody where they're the most comfortable. So now as I think through this, you just gave me an idea. What if I took a chorus and did that first, and then did this on top of it?
Magnifico.
I hope so. That just now hit me. Now I need a guinea pig chorus. Right? Yeah.
I think the genius of what you showed me was, I've had people say, hear the overtone, and sometimes you kind of do, sometimes you don't, in a choral environment. What you showed us was how to feel that overtone. And so you're in the calibration mode, so that, yes, it's there now, it feels that. And that's something that sensation that is hopefully duplicatable. And
you bring up a great point. I mean, I've been saying for a long time that our hobby, our society, our little lifestyle, right, whatever it is way too auditory and not tactile enough, or not synesthesia-ish enough, right? We're way too interested in how it sounds, and we forget to remember how it feels. How it feels in the mechanism, how it feels here, how it feels here in the mask, physical feelings, emotional sensations, all the other senses beyond hearing. We forget to use those. We get so wrapped up in, we want to ring this, right? So I think that's what you just said another way. I'm encouraging most of us to start from the feeling. If you memorize the feeling, then you allow for your hearing, your auditory things that you're used to shift to a better place. If you take the emphasis off the auditory and onto the feeling, and wait, be patient, your ears will hear something new and you go, oh, that's better and newer, and now I have a new auditory sensation. I love it. Anybody else's experiences from yesterday? Rafi?
So we calibrated the first column, so we were all going along last fall
Right.
for the chorus
Right.
sounds.
Right.
And one observation I had was that every time we hit that, we were
Right.
spot on.
Right.
Because we memorized the sensation there.
Right.
And then I think just our barber tuition of
Barber tuition.
there's a target vowel, make sure I get that. So that every time we didn't have that vowel, it was
You didn't
sort
know
of,
what to do.
there were three darts being thrown, and we were like, well, that's kind of a thing. But then, for me, as I shifted my mentality from make sure you hit the target vowel to make sure you maintain the resonance that you have,
Right.
it generally converged to a consistent tone with the same overtones.
What he just described was, yesterday we matched the chorus on an ah vowel in here, right? And everybody had something along the continuum this way or something along the continuum that way, and it just averaged out for the whole chorus to be right here. So we started to sing a song, and as long as this ah was in place, you had that reference pretty well, right? As soon as you started to sing another word, you didn't know where to go, so you were guessing. Until you stopped using your ears, and you started using the feeling, then you were running down the center line, which is what I wanted you to really do, step 2. And some of you graduated past from running down the center line to actually finding one spot, so it felt the same way every time, like Rafi just said. He felt the same overtone in his voice the whole time. That's the eventual goal. That's the doctoral level. So I sort of tricked you into that one without explaining it, yeah.
I thought of it as, since I was below,
Okay.
down toward the aw,
You were working down.
but I thought I was running parallel to that bottom line.
Okay, that's fine, that's exactly what you should have been thinking,
Yeah.
because if you were a tweeter and we put some woofer in you, and you're down here, if you do that, you're averaging out with the rest of the chorus right here anyway.
Well,
That's exactly.
I was thinking to myself, actually running along that bottom line.
All the way down here.
Parallel to it, sort of maintaining the same ratio of how far I was down toward an aw, I would get that far down toward an O in O.
Okay, so if you started here, you'd end up here,
Yeah, or even, yeah.
and then you'd end up
yeah,
here,
Yeah, right.
and then there.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you should have been doing.
Okay,
Because that's why it fans out,
good.
right? Because, I mean, if you, any vowel depiction or any visual depiction of what we do is gonna have E and oo further apart than a and all. Because that's how the speech is, that's how the actual, that's what the math says about our mouths, about our vocal tracts, right? So that's why it fans out. So instead of, say, all right, my position is here, I'm gonna run parallel to the center. The correct answer is run parallel to the fan, which is what you just described, right? Okay, everybody get the concept? Okay, because, if you fan out here, then you're still gonna end up averaged here. If you fan out here, it's gonna kinda do this. Okay? Everybody understand? Any other impressions from yesterday? Was it fun to sing in that chorus?
Yeah.
John Fisher, the best baritone in the state of West Virginia, came to me after that and he said, "It's the best chorus I've ever sung in my life." I said, "You need to raise your standards."
Scott, I think one of the most amazing things was how many hours have all of us spent in our choruses trying to accomplish what you accomplished with us in a matter of, 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
Well, that's what you accomplished.
Well,
It's
but,
what I suggested.
right, but your
That's
approach.
important, though. That's an
yeah.
important way to think about that. I didn't accomplish it. I just came up with a harebrained idea that happens to work. You're the ones that accomplished it. Never forget that. You just showed yourself that it's really easy to match. And what happened to the intonation in that song? What happened to the level of chord ringing? What happened to the overtone series? All of those things just fell into place, right? There were a couple of blips here and there when somebody got wanged out on a vowel, but hey, that's all right. De-wang. You'll be fine. De-wang that vowel. Please don't quote me.
The interesting thing for me, and I don't know if that happens to any of the other tenors, is when I switched from the chest voice run
Right.
to hard falsetto.
Right.
And how different that was actually in my own placement,
Yeah.
Sure.
which
That-
means I had to switch positions from the center line.
Okay, so what that tells me is that from your falsetto to your full voice, there are production differences happening in your mechanism that need to be addressed, right? So, right, I did something completely incorrect to make that full voice thing happen, right? So that tells me that you have a mechanism issue that needs to be smoothed out. I suspect that your full voice stuff is somehow tensed up, and your falsetto is almost always going to be nice and loose because you have to be relaxed to do it. What you're essentially doing when we sing falsetto is you're plucking a guitar string and putting your finger halfway down on it. You ever see guitar players tune out, right? And they put their finger part way down lightly. They're subdividing the string so they get a pitch at a higher place, so they can tune it to another string, right? They're essentially demonstrating the overtone series when they do that. When we sing falsetto, we do the same thing.
That bass player at the general session this morning was using harmonics to play Amazing Grace on top of his bass strings.
Yeah.
Those were
Right.
harmonics.
Yeah, if you touch them lightly, then the string still vibrates, but you have chosen the node. Yeah, right? So that's what happens when we sing falsetto, right? My vocal folds vibrate at a particular frequency, at a particular rate, whatever that is. And then I go, they vibrate twice as fast to create that note. But if I want to sing that note in falsetto, that's different entirely, right? I don't make them vibrate twice as fast. I use half of them to vibrate, right? See the difference in that? It's like putting my finger on the middle of the string. So my point is, the falsetto stuff is almost always going to be more relaxed, you know? And so that tells me that most of that switch over for tenors and sometimes for leads and baritones in the men's range is going to be the passaggio, literally passing voice in Italiano. That's the voice that goes between your chest voice and your falsetto. So there's lots of work to be done there to smooth that out. I would suggest that probably the lower stuff might be have some tension in it. And that's why you saw the disconnect between them. So start with the falsetto and work down. Any other tenors have that problem? Start with falsetto, work down. Yes?
Oh, no, I was just gonna wonder, why does it seem it takes more air to sing falsetto than it does in a full voice?
It shouldn't. You're misusing your air. That's the short answer. You're
Okay.
probably over-breathing, or you're probably having glottal. The glottis is the space between your folds, your vocal folds. And please, vocal cords is anatomically incorrect. They're vocal folds, right? And they undulate. The space, as they're at rest, they're kind of triangular. The space between them is the glottis. So the glottis is air. It's not a physical apparatus, right? So the glottis, if you can have a glottal stoppage like that's the chords together and you're forcing them apart. Right? So if you go to sing falsetto and this is too wide, you let too much air out. It's that simple. Right? The first one had a wide glottis, the second one had a very narrow glottis. And it vibrates together really fast. And that's like way out of my skill set. So no follow-up questions, right? That's the science I know about, some of the science I know. Right? So, but that's a really good question. Why, if I'm a tenor, it's just too much air escape? It's because you're either over-breathing and or leaving the glottis open too far. Where do you regulate the air? And we're right back to Deborah's bel canto breathing. If you over-breathe, that air is forced up against the bottom of your vocal folds. The only way to control it is to somehow do something above the vocal folds to keep that air pressure down. You're over-pressurized, which is probably why you're losing too much air. Or you've taken too much air and you're trying to use it all. So you have to leave it open to use it all. So take in less air and don't have any control, right? If you really to get the tactile sensation of your vocal folds, there's a point where you can force too much air at the bottom of it. That tone quality is different from this one. There's more freedom in the second one. Did you hear that? It's because I was consciously thinking about not having the air balance, right? The basic science behind it, right? If you push down on a tympanic membrane, which is really what the vocal folds are, at a greater rate than you push up, or if you push up at a greater rate than you push down, you want to equalize that. And I just did them both on purpose. I just thought about that. If you think about the pressure being at the same rate, then there's a buoyancy to your vocal folds. Most certainly the most beautiful tone of those three I just did, right?
Yes.
And it's easier. Then you don't wear out, you sing all day. So, long answer to a short question.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, so versus our chorus thing yesterday, eventually the goal was we had the choruses, each section done and the whole thing, and we sang there. And to get this thing, somebody asked me after class, what if I sing in a different section? You've matched the lead section, but now I want to go sing baritone. So,
What you gonna do?
I don't know, you're drunk? You lost a bet? But that's a legit question, right? Because in his mind, he thought, oh my goodness, here's my placement in this lead section with these people today at this temperature, at this latitude, right? Now I gotta go over into these baritones. Oh my gosh, the baritone section sounds different. Do I have to change something? Maybe today, because we're not far enough down this path. But the further you get down the path, if the idea is to get the whole chorus, every single voice inside everyone else's resonance spot, then theoretically you could jump to any section and never change that. Right? If we learn to sing to the ring, as long as you understand what the ring of the room is, what the ring of the chorus is, if you jump from tenor to bass, stay inside that ring. Like Rafi said a minute ago, find that feeling and stay inside it, and it will fit. Right? So that's the answer to that question. Yeah.
I just thinking, you had us running down the center line there yesterday as a group.
Right.
But you didn't work with us like you did the quartet, the
Right.
first quartet,
Right.
on getting,
Yeah, all together?
Yeah.
Well, when I went through you one by one, that's what I was doing. When I said, you sing on, now you sing on, okay, that's a tweeter, we're gonna move you. That's exactly what I did, that's why I did it voice by voice.
right, but we weren't singing different,
No.
so if
In
we
the interest-
had, instead of going from lost to love, like in Heart of My Heart, if we'd gone from lost to last,
Right.
the word and the
Right.
lyric.
Well, in the interest of time, we had 50 people, I had to match all 50 of you in like a half an hour, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so just for demonstration purposes there, yeah. I'm glad you asked that, because, back to the chorus, which is the last slide in the thing here, that's why we did this exercise at the end. God, there's a lot of slides in here. That's what we got here. We sing late at times, you could go all night. Right, we did that exercise, right?
We talked about it, we
Talked
didn't actually
about
do
it.
it.
I'm sorry, I have two sections of this class, and
Yeah.
we did it in the other one, so it's running together in my head, forgive me. So, okay, we'll do that before the day's over. We'll do this, right? And by the way, I put this PowerPoint up on Sched. So if you go to where you register for the class on Sched and look on there, the entire PowerPoint is there.
Thank you.
It's in PDF.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody can open PowerPoints, right? So it's in a PDF, and almost everybody can open a PDF. Hey, that was a big feat for me, because I'm technologically challenged.
Very much.
That's why I have children.
Which one should you?
They're also my guinea pigs for this kind of crap.
Yeah. I think it worked.
They're still working on it,
Yep.
and that's honestly, they're still working on it. Little subtleties, right? So they're working postdoc, but they're working on it. So I have two versions of this chart. The vowel targets are the same, I just have different set of words here, because I like to use this like a five-part exercise that almost all the choruses use at the beginning, or have done at one time, is the, right, that five-part warm-up exercise that almost all, at least the men's courses do. I don't know about the women's. So, and I just put different sets of words in there, so the basses and the baritones sing the top words, and the leads and tenors sing the bottom words at the same time. Right? And then you switch it, or you do it row by row, or you do it duck, goose, however you want to do it, right? So that what happens is you eventually take all that E that you want to sing, E, and you turn it into E, because that's what works with the ooh. So ooh and E, you get ooh and E. Bigger, fuller, easier, more room, more space. Okay?
And how would you do that with a chorus? I mean,
Let's
so
do it right now. Basses and baritones sing. We sing late at times, basses and baritones.
We sing late at times.
Half that volume.
We sing late at times.
Hold the first chord.
We
Memorize that feeling, sing the whole thing through that feeling.
We sing late at times.
Yeah, late didn't wang out this time, it wanged out every other time. Right? Leads and tenors. You could go all night.
You could go all night.
Sing you. Sing it, all right. Closer to an umlaut. Leads and tenors. I'm sorry, are you ready? And you could go. Okay, now together on the words I gave you previously.
We sing
We sing late at, same feeling. I don't care what you think the word pronounces like. I care how the feeling is consistent. Same drill. We sing late at night. Which words? Sing the first chord and hold, please. You're singing you, you're singing we. The most open and the most closed vowel in American English. Listen to the ring in that. I don't even know what, I don't even see who's singing what yet. Mop over here, please. Wet dry vac, maybe? Anybody got a wet dry vac?
It's working.
First chord one more time, but with your best, for your best production, right? Your best breathing, your best balance. Get a balance at the vocal folds, right? No pushing up, no pushing down. That's even better than the time before, wasn't it? Thank you for not pushing up or pushing down. So the exercise. You're singing night and times, but guess what? They're both ah. This is the ah we came to yesterday when we resonance matched the whole room, isn't it? Right? So, again, do not use your ears. Let your ears ancillarily observe what's going on. But don't let your ears allow you to change what you're doing. That's our cardinal sin in this hobby. We listen to fix. Don't listen to fix. Listen to observe. Enjoy. Feel. Here we go. Same. We're actually flip the words back. What are baritones and basses on the top? We. The one we sing. Leads and tenors on you could. Here we go. And we sing. Times again, but no pressure either way. Last chord. I can't tell who's singing what.
So we don't have to worry about lyrics anymore.
Consonants.
Well, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The question is, so we don't have to worry about lyrics anymore. Yes and no. You should never worry about speech lyrics. You should always worry, I don't say worry, you should always be aware of perceived lyrics. Right? The audience will finish the word for you. I took my sweet to the front porch and I kicked her. You thought I was going somewhere else, didn't you? Your brain will finish the word. The audience's brain will finish the word. Speaking is not singing. Speaking is the enemy of singing. Don't quote me on that because I'll get letters. Well, but it's a really good point because, we should always think about, when we plan a song, what the implications are, what the underlying thing is, and then we create sounds that resemble those things that they will interpret as those things. You with me? Without getting into the theory of diction and all that, what I'm trying to do is to get the same ring in everything. I mean, who in the world says, "Nice to meet you," up in the suite? Right? You is what I'm asking you to say, you, but we all say you. We say it up in, this way. Elongated. You, or yins, if you're from Pittsburgh. Yins. Nice to meet yins. You, we don't say you. I don't say nice to meet you. How are you today? My name is Scott. Yep, and that, because that would be frightening to some people, right?
Face for radio.
Hello, my name is Scott. What's your name?
I think it'd be pepper spray.
What's your name, baby? My name Ray Ray. What you doing, lady, baby? The point is, we have a jillion different ways of speaking, and, you know, regional differences and cultural differences, and, you know, just first generation immigrants speak differently, you know. I'm 13th generation Western European American mutt. That's my heritage, right, you know? So, you know, but I speak hillbilly because I grew up in West Virginia. I put it right back in if I want to. If I try to teach somebody to keep talking like this, with someone that is talking like this, what do? You know? So, you know, Rafi is from Bangladesh. You know? John's from Buffalo. The rest of us have normal parents.
Scott, let me ask you something. What do you do when you have, being in where we are in St. Pete, Florida, we've got a lot of people from different places and visitors and such.
A lot of Northeasterners, right?
A lot of Northeasterners, a lot of
You get a
different.
lot of Boston, a lot of New York, you get a lot of that. Those two don't even match.
Right, we've got a lot of that, but we've also got a lot of Brits and a lot of Germans. At one
Right.
point in our course, we had 3 Germans, all with different levels of accent, from slight to
High
severe.
German, low German, and drunk German.
So,
Wait, I repeat myself. Yeah,
So-
well, you know, you have to agree on, you know, in that case, that's a great question. We sing with an accent. This is the chorus accent. This is the way you pronounce this word in the chorus accent.
I saw an a cappella group that did a foreign language piece.
Right.
It was gorgeous. It was beautifully done. They sang something in English, a barbershop number. It fell apart because they were singing as they speak.
Or they were singing in classical production, or they were singing with vibrato, or they were singing with, see, they don't understand our style intimately. Something we need to understand about what we do as barbershoppers, we are an extremely small little dot in the corner of the musical world. So infantile, you think about all the music styles in all the world, and all of history, we're not that big. Here's space, here's us. Right? So people that attempt, they say, oh, wow, I like that, I want to try that. They have no clue about how we got to where we are, unless they come to things like this, or join and actually do this, right? So I think sometimes we get a little bit of myopia here. Understand where we fit into the rest of the world. And don't be too hard on groups that don't know how to do this, because this is a very specialized skill. Very specialized. So that's just a little perspective there, okay? These 4 young ladies showed up today because they want to sing. So would you like to hear that? So, you want to jump right into it, or would you like to sing a song or something like that to kind of give us a reference point? Or would you like to just jump in here?
I don't care what you do.
Why, if you do 2 songs, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Okay. The ladies. Let me grab my water bottle before you start.
Well, that one feels like the most.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ladies and gentlemen.
Say, here's what's on my mind. Let's you and me unwind. Let's take a trip and leave all the cares behind. Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in Fort Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Let's get away. Come fly with me, let's float down the Peru. In Lama Land, there's a one-man band, and on Tuesday, it's straight for you. Come fly
place to start, huh? Right, so what did you notice about their resonance? Or something other than good. Did you hear places where it was better than others?
Yes.
Yes. Was it in a certain range, on a certain vowel, or did you notice that?
I think it was on a certain couple of vowels, but
Right.
I'm can't remember which
Which
ones
was, okay.
specifically.
Other observations?
Way?
What's that?
Sorry, I feel like way is a hard one.
Yeah,
First.
I agree with that.
I think fly was one that came out to me that the way the vowel was turned, that
Right.
the resonance dropped on fly.
So the vowel was all right, the diphthong got no,
Well, I don't know.
something like that, okay.
I'm not
Maybe,
qualified, but in terms of dropping. the
But you heard
resonance,
something
yeah.
out of character,
Fly-
right?
fly
Out of
came out,
character, okay.
yeah.
Can we ask them how they feel
We'll get to that in a
it?
second, we'll get to you first.
Their collective range is so high.
Right.
From my ear, I can't really discern what they're asking me to tell you.
Yeah, well, and that's another good point, because a lot of the tenor part is above the first format. Almost all, the whole tenor part is above the first format.
Yeah.
And some of it is above the second format, depending on the vowel, because some of the second format vowels are lower, right?
You mentioned earlier position might have an effect, and I noticed you're not in the standard lineup.
We changed that this
You
morning.
Do you hear that or hear?
What is the standard lineup?
The baritone beside the bass, the tenor beside the lead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we.
So if you
usually
flip.
stand
Someone
these,
kind
it
of played with us
Yeah.
doing that
Do
earlier.
you hear better this way?
Kim and I
We hear
I
better
heard that out of
on
this
these
year.
ears, so we're like,
What did I just say earlier, right?
feel
What?
strongly about us being on these sides.
Kim, you had a baritone?
Right,
Okay.
yeah, baritone on this side, tenor on that side.
I
Yeah,
ended
right.
up, the tag I kind of meant, I end on the.
Yeah, they switch
Yeah,
parts.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I'm just saying that's.
Yeah, okay. So, having sat through part of the class, did you feel like you changed anything that time, or did you just do what you always do?
I definitely changed stuff.
So what did you change?
I guess like, my concept of resonance has always been like finding like for each vowel where I fit.
You were searching for the format.
Yes,
Okay.
instead of thinking about keeping it in the same place the whole time.
So what that tells me is, her mechanism, and the only resonator of the tube comes from the top of the vocal folds to the lips, right? Up, around, and out. That is the tube we use. That's the resonating chamber. The only one resonating chamber the human voice has, regardless of what other people will tell you, right? There are sympathetic chambers, but that's the one that really resonates, right? So what I heard her just say was, she's searching for the formants, so she's moving the shape around so she finds, oh, there's the spot. Is that pretty accurate? So my challenge to anyone that has that kind of thought would be to find the largest spot you can have and leave it and let the formats find you.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I did this time after hearing you talk about that,
Right.
just like thinking about keeping it, and I felt like it came to me.
Yes.
Versus like
I agree.
looking, and it freed me up to do so much more.
Oh, freedom can't that. Right? So my assessment of that is I've heard them sing only a couple times, 2 weeks ago for the first time live. And then I heard them here tonight, and my assessment of that is you did make a change for the positive. You made about 30% of the change that I would like you to make,
Okay.
right? You got more consistent, but that much more consistent.
Yeah,
That much more consistent would make you happy.
yes.
And corollarily, the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just start drawing off, Al, like on maybe what do you tune up on F? Just an encore, there we go. And with the best technique we have, of course, is off. There's a lot of good stuff happening already, isn't it? This is going to be a tweak. This is not going to be get in there with a pickaxe and you know, this is going to be, you know, a little buffing compound. That's what we got going on here. Right? Okay, let's lead. Okay, can you say father?
Father.
Sing ah.
Father.
Okay. That sounds a little bit like UH, doesn't it? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of fa instead of ah. Think tongue position and that's better. But there's still a component of right? So everybody in class, put your fingers right here. Let your lower jaw just fall open. You feel a hole there. Feel that hole form? Right? What you've just done is you've created space between the back molars, the upper molars and the lower molars. You've created space, right? How many times have we told, drop your jaw? Right? So what happens, instead of, take your hands down now. What happens if instead of creating the space by dropping the jaw, you created the space by lifting the upper one? Yes, I know it's physiologically impossible. Shut up, it's a feeling. Right? So take that breath in. Everybody take that breath in. What does that do to your soft palate?
Yes.
Bel canto in one easy step. Don't tell Deborah I said that. Right? Okay, so that's what I'm going to ask you to do, is to have that space created. That's more of an ah, isn't it, right? Okay, tongue down. But like Novocaine in your tongue. At the back of the tongue, attaches in the mouth. It's like you've been to the dentist, and you got the Novocaine in the back of the tongue. Like that. Everybody understand what I just said? I got Novocaine in my tongue. Sorry about that, Ronnie. Basically. Okay, it's a little.
Oh, guys, hang on.
What did it sound like out here? It sounded like I out here. Do you trust me? Actually, I was making a reference there. Did you get the movie reference? Do you trust me?
Aladdin.
It's Aladdin. I can show you the world. Not in that key, I can't. Right, so. It's okay. So the last thing you just did was she had this great open space and this great vowel, which sounded weird to you, but you're listening again.
Yeah,
Don't listen, feel. And you have a whole room of people here that'll tell you whether or not it's working. You're relieved of that responsibility.
it felt different. It felt like.
It should. It felt like
Oh,
open
that's
and
what I
relaxed,
thought.
right?
Yeah.
Good, open and relaxed is what we're going for, right? So basically, and you have the same assignment.
Okay.
Lift with that upper jaw and let the tongue go numb, and? Okay, now we can assess whether or not they're woofers or tweeters. Please? I hear tweeter and mid-range, is that what you hear, right? Okay. Lead?
Oh, wait, and then do it.
Sorry, and breathe, and? Sort of mid-range-ish, right? That's pretty balanced. So we're gonna leave you alone. We're just gonna have you put a little bit of AW into yours. So you're gonna start with, oh, you put a little bit of AW in just a little at a time until you get inside per note.
Okay.
So this is a tactile thing, not a hearing thing. Here we go. AW. A little more. A little more. How about that? I like it right there.
Wow.
Measure that.
Chop back. I told one class about the guy singing at a convention after having a few beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was seeing at the convention, and it was like 2 in the morning, and the guy was like, we're doing this, and he said, dude, you got a note coming out of your shoulder. Dude, you're freaking me out. Right, so this is what, and we're sober, I hope. Say it one more time. So you hold still, and you start where you did, and keep adding AW. It's probably gonna be a little more than you think it is.
Yeah.
No. Does it sound like oh? No. What does it sound like? Ah. It's voodoo.
Say
Say that again?
I thought her voice was behind me, like. she, it was weird.
Yeah,
And I was just like, boom, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so see if you can pick that note out of the, pick that all out of the air. Actually, you just sing the same thing, just sing the word long, L-A-W, just sing long
Okay.
for me. Here we go, here we go. That's your new awe. Yeah, Quincy's eyes like,
Look
whoa.
at that picture.
What you talking about, Willis? Well, a certain age, get that one, right?
Like I get the 4,000.
Oh, you have Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah,
No, wait,
Nick at Night.
Nick at Night, yeah.
Yes.
Nick at Night. Okay, so let's throw the baritone in there, 3 parts. Oh, my name is McNamara. Did you realize 400 years ago, the Irish gave the Scottish the bagpipes as a joke, and they still haven't gotten it?
That's what you call tradition.
Yes. We're gonna play these things whether or not we like it. Gotta conquer this thing. And it'll go for all 18 times. For those of you that like Robin Williams, you get that.
Yeah.
Robin Williams explaining golf. There's language, but it's really fun. Okay, so back to the 3 parts. So Kim's job now, Kim's job is to start with a pure awe, like heart, and we're going to assess her voice in un momento. So here are 3 of them. Okay, that's very well in tune. Could you just sing heart by yourself, please? Assessment.
Little woof, what's the balance?
A little woof, a little mid-range, right? Okay, so you're gonna put just a little bit of add into yours.
Okay.
So as, I'm gonna sing it down an octane. Oh, you like that, right? There are 100 choices in there.
Okay.
Right? So just start with ah and slide until you find where you are inside what they're doing.
Okay.
3 of them, please.
Yep.
Come back down a little. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
You went past it and came back. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, do it one more time. Ooh, it's already in there, right? It's already in there. Go take a bologna sandwich break. Okay, go take a quinoa break.
Where to find some?
Well, they had couscous up there, but I was only hungry. I wasn't very hungry. I just had
King
couscous.
must sell it.
I wasn't very hungry. I just had goose and maca. And I went to Pango on vacation. And Bora.
Yeah.
Right, it doesn't sound like Bright and Dark, so what's the discussion up here?
It's just funny because it's all, I've always been told that I'm like a really bright singer, but, and everyone says that Ashley is like more of a, I just expected you to say the opposite of what we were. But-
Well, that's why I'm here to smash expectations.
But I believe you, so.
Well, do you believe the results?
Yes.
You don't need to believe me, you need to believe yourself. You need to believe what you hear and feel. What you feel and hear and feel, you feel and hear. In that order.
And it's possible to be both, it might depend on the word or the vowel or to whether.
That's a good question, right.
Some people are, you know.
Right, good question. Yeah, the question is it different on different vowels? It can be, and it usually is. This is just a launching point, right? Okay, so with that F again, it was E1/2, wasn't it? All 4 of you. Quincy, by yourself. Assessment. Tweeters, 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 right? So you can put AW in your sound too.
That's weird, all right. Yeah.
Well, you know,
I mean, you hear my voice, you don't think I sing tenor.
yeah,
Like,
well,
oh,
yeah,
that's
sure.
weird.
Same problem.
Should we let you two have a moment?
Do you like quinoa?
Hey, it's T-bone, it's T-bone. Okay, so you get to sing some AW. You just start with an ah and put some AW into it until you find the overtone that they're already producing. Just reinforce it. Don't Oklahoma, reinforce it. All four of you, and go. And the gates of heaven open. Do you feel what we feel? Do you feel that? You feel that?
Yeah, I feel like I used
Yeah.
to know what resonance was. And now I'm like, to sing.
What did you say?
It feels easier to sing. Like
Yes.
I feel like as a female quartet and trying to have a big sound, the bottom parts can be told or encouraged to like, you really gotta fill it out. And for me, that's like, okay, I'm gonna force my larynx down to create as much space as possible.
Or like,
But yeah, but this makes it feel like I can be enough in a way that's healthy.
Right.
we're told that like barbershop is for men because they have an easier time, and
Right.
I feel like until just now.
That person is not your friend.
But yeah, to pick up on what Kim said, the thing that impresses me most about this technique is that you're making changes that are not affecting your vocal production.
Right.
You can still sing in a healthy manner. It's very different than we used to say, oh, well, you're much darker than the rest of the quartets. You have to brighten it up, and so you do something artificial to your production. That is harmful.
You
But
draw
this
a
isn't-
palette, yeah.
But this isn't harmful.
Yeah.
It's just a slight vowel change.
I wouldn't even say, I think it's a shade.
I like that word.
It's shading. Right, so you're just shading things so that and what the phrase I like to use is sing to the ring. Right, and once you find where that is, never let it go. So do that last thing again, when you're asking a question. And ah. That's a completely new understanding of ah for all four of you.
Yeah.
Does it sound like ah out here?
Yes.
It sounds like pure ah right smack in the middle.
Yep.
So what you've done is you just mathematically managed out so that you're in the middle.
Yay.
Is anybody singing pure ah up here? No. I changed every one of you, right? I left you alone,
You
didn't I?
left me alone.
Okay, we got one pure ah going on up here. The other three are ah-ish. Ah-ish.
Ah,
Gotta show me what you're all about.
Well, yeah,
I can't believe it's not ah.
Here we go. Ah. What?
I can't believe it's not ah.
Is that a butter joke? Making butter out of ah? Okay, ah. Yeah, it's still too much ah, and there's a little more AW, right? Right, so if you, another way to do it, especially for advanced singers, right, is you can listen for the overtoning grade, or you listen for the merge, or you listen for just the rumble, sometimes the difference tones in there. One more time, here we go. Right, and you don't need very much volume now, because they're creating your notes, you just reinforce, and. Right, and think about the pressurization of the folds, right? No hard pressure, no pushed pressure, and. Why am I a bass singing that note? I shouldn't be. But I just got so excited.
There's an interesting phenomenon, and when they do it right,
It
they
almost,
actually
it
have.
almost feels like I'm singing flat.
Yeah, but is the pitch flat?
No.
It almost feels like
You're singing.
vocally, it almost feels like I'm singing flat. I think because like for those two, especially, they're from what we've believed in the past that they're very bright singers. So I've always like changed like my placement really a whole lot to make it match.
So you went up
theirs.
here, I'm bringing you back where you belong.
Yeah, it feels weird because
You're
I've
welcome.
been I don't even need to sing, the thing is, they don't even need me anymore.
No, you're the pretty one. It's the dimples, and also we're both yogis. So we got that going on. Okay, so now, here we go. I'm gonna actually sing ah and move to ah. We're going around out of time real quickly, but I wanna just quickly go through this very few questions.
Like
Ah,
that?
just sing ah, and then sing ah. You moved too far. Oh, listen to me, listen to me. Ah, ah, ah.
Okay.
Go. Yeah, you moved too far. Is it consistent ring in that?
Yeah.
One more time. Almost too far. Ah to aw. Aw to AW. AH to AW. Sing the word long. Sing the word last. What you've just done is you just call them in one place. Sing lost. Now love. World. Umlaut. Vocal teachers, right? You know what umlaut is, right?
Yes.
It's E and U at the same time. E and U at the same time. Here we go. And then T.
Thank you. I was like,
E and U at
this
the same
feels
time.
right.
And here we go. There's too much E. I love you. Now sing the word you.
As long as the bears.
Umlaut. Way too far. Way too far.
It's because my tongue was like,
Where does the tongue belong in every vowel?
oh,
In your mouth.
yeah.
So the can in the back of your tongue. Umlaut and you. A little more room with your oo. You can go a little further down, right? Everybody else hold still. Umlaut. We. That's too far up. Did you hear the we? That's what the overtone singers do, right? We got some funny crap up there, right? So your sense of that individually is still kind of between here, and I'm asking everybody to be in this very, very small space, right? But E and U are the toughest because those are the most open and closed vowels we sing. So this one's going to take a while, and you have to sort of marinate in this a while. So the first thing I did was get the first column together, then I ran you down the middle. So I'm going to do it again. We're 1 minute over, but I'm going to do one more thing. Sing love, love, L-U-H. And world. World with no R. Love, world, back and forth. Ready? Love. Halfway back. sing love, but halfway back, right? Sing halfway between those two, right? Make them blend together. Here we go, a hybrid of love and world. I just brought them all the way through this, through that, through this, into a spot. We're gonna get the doctoral level in 20 minutes. How about a hand?